Welcome back to Engineering Out Loud. This is the fourth episode in our series from MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program, and today it's titled Six Sigma Tools and Applications. So if you're finding these deep dives helpful and you want to learn more about applying these tools in real-world scenarios, we encourage you to apply to the full MESP program at mechesolco.com/CPD. Now, you've probably heard of Six Sigma before, but have you ever wondered how these tools actually work in practice? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of the 7 basic quality tools that are used in Six Sigma and discover how they can help you improve any process.
I'm ready to unpack this toolkit. It's amazing how these seemingly simple tools can be used to tackle complex problems across various fields, from manufacturing to healthcare to even software development.
Absolutely. So let's kick things off with the cause and effect diagram, often called the fishbone diagram because of its shape. It's like a detective's notepad, helping us visually map out all the potential causes of a problem.
I see where you're going with this. It's not enough to just identify problems. We need to understand their root causes, right?
Exactly. Think about it this way. You're working on a project, and you notice a high defect rate in the final product. Well, a fishbone diagram helps you brainstorm and categorize all the potential culprits, from material inconsistencies to machine malfunctions to human error.
So instead of getting lost in a sea of possibilities, the fishbone diagram helps us organize our thoughts and see the bigger picture. And by grouping potential causes into categories, we can start to see patterns and prioritize our investigation.
Now, once we've identified potential causes, we need data to confirm our suspicions. That's where the check sheet comes in. This simple but effective tool allows for real-time data collection, giving us immediate insight into what's going wrong and where.
I find it interesting that such a basic tool can be so powerful. It's like taking a pulse on the process, isn't it? Are there any limitations to using a tool as simple as a check sheet?
That's a great question. While the check sheet is excellent for quick data collection, it's important to be mindful of potential bias. For example, if the person collecting the data isn't properly trained, or if the data collection method is inconsistent, the results might be skewed.
That makes sense. So while real-time data is valuable, we need to ensure its accuracy and reliability. This reminds me of the control chart, which helps us monitor a process over time and ensure it remains stable.
Absolutely. Think of a control chart like a speedometer for your process. It helps you visualize how the process is performing and alerts you to any unusual variations that might indicate a problem. For instance, let's say you're monitoring the wait times at a call center. Well, a control chart can help you identify if there are any sudden spikes or dips in wait times, signaling a potential issue with staffing or call volume.
What I find fascinating about the control chart is its ability to differentiate between common cause variation, which is inherent in any process, and special cause variation, which signals an external factor affecting the process. This distinction is crucial for determining where to focus improvement efforts.
Exactly. And speaking of understanding data, the histogram comes in handy for visualizing data distribution. It's a bar chart that shows us the frequency of data points, giving us a clear picture of how a process is performing and helping us spot any potential areas for improvement.
Think of the histogram as a way to get a feel for the shape of your data. Is it normally distributed or is it skewed? This information can be incredibly valuable in understanding the capability of a process and identifying potential bottlenecks or areas for optimization.
It's like taking a snapshot of your process and seeing if everything is running smoothly. Before we move on, I want to remind our listeners to visit mechesolco.com/CPD and explore the other courses we offer on data analysis and process improvement. Now let's dive into another powerful tool, the Pareto chart.
I'm eager to hear more about this one. I've heard it's all about working smarter, not harder.
You got it. The Pareto chart is a bar chart. That helps us prioritize causes based on their frequency, allowing us to focus on the vital few that contribute the most to a problem. It's based on the Pareto principle, which states that roughly 80% of effects come from 20% of causes.
This reminds me of a project I worked on where we were trying to reduce customer complaints. We used a Pareto chart to analyze the data and discovered that just 3 issues out of a list of 10 were responsible for over 80% of the complaints.
Wow, that's a perfect example of the Pareto principle in action. By focusing on those 3 issues, you could significantly reduce the overall number of complaints without getting bogged down by less impactful problems.
It's a game changer when you realize you can make a significant impact. By addressing just a small number of key issues, speaking of identifying key factors, the scatter diagram comes to mind. It's like a relationship detective, revealing whether there's a correlation between 2 variables.
For example, let's say you're trying to understand the relationship between the temperature of a manufacturing process and the defect rate. A scatter diagram can visually display this relationship, helping you determine if there's a correlation between the two variables.
It's a powerful tool for exploring potential cause and effect relationships, and can guide further investigation or experimentation. Speaking of breaking down data, how does stratification fit into this toolkit?
Stratification is a technique that helps us see patterns more clearly by separating data from different sources. Imagine analyzing customer feedback for a new product launch. By stratifying the data by demographics, you can gain valuable insights into how different customer segments are responding to the product.
That's a great point. It's like looking at the data through different lenses, helping us uncover hidden patterns and trends.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to remind our listeners to register for our upcoming webinar on implementing Six Sigma in your workplace. It's a fantastic opportunity to learn more about the practical application of these tools and ask any questions you might have. You can register at mechesolco.com/CPD. We hope to see you there.
So far, we've covered a lot of ground, exploring some of the most powerful tools in the Six Sigma arsenal. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole universe of Six Sigma tools and techniques out there, each designed to help us understand and improve processes.
You're absolutely right. And while these tools are incredibly valuable on their own, their true power comes from understanding how they fit into the bigger picture of the Six Sigma methodology.
Speaking of the Six Sigma methodology, it's based on a structured five-phase approach, right? Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Each phase has specific tools tailored to its purpose, ensuring we're using the right tool for the right job at the right time.
Exactly. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't start by putting up the roof before you lay the foundation. Similarly, in Six Sigma, we need to follow a logical sequence to ensure our efforts are focused and effective.
So in the define phase, we're essentially setting the stage for our project. We need to clearly define the problem, identify the goals, and establish the project scope. Tools like CPOC diagrams can be incredibly helpful in this phase.
CPOC stands for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers. It helps us map out the entire process from start to finish and identify all the key players involved. It's like creating a roadmap before you embark on a journey.
I like that analogy. It helps to visualize the process and ensures everyone is on the same page. Once we've defined the problem and mapped out the process, we move into the measure phase. Here, it's all about collecting data and understanding how the process is currently performing.
This is where we really get into the nitty-gritty of data analysis. We need to ensure that the data we're collecting is accurate and reliable. That's where measurement system analysis, or MSA, comes into play.
MSA helps us assess the variation in measurements due to the measurement instrument itself. And the operators using it, it's like making sure your measuring tape is accurate before you start cutting lumber.
Exactly. If our measurement system is flawed, our analysis and conclusions will be too. And once we have reliable data, we can move into the analyze phase, where we use statistical tools to identify the root causes of problems and test potential solutions.
This is where hypothesis testing comes in handy. It's a way to determine if the observed results are statistically significant or simply due to random chance. It's like making sure our findings are solid and not just a fluke.
It's all about making data-driven decisions. And once we've identified the root causes, we can move into the improve phase, where we brainstorm, test, and implement solutions.
This is where we get to be creative and experiment with different approaches to see what works best. Tools like design of experiments, or DOE, can be incredibly helpful in this phase.
DOE is a powerful technique for optimizing processes. It involves carefully designing experiments to identify the key factors that impact the outcome and determine the optimal settings for those factors.
It's like fine-tuning a recipe to get the perfect flavor. And once we've implemented our improvements, we need to ensure that they stick. That's where the control phase comes in.
This phase is all about sustaining the gains we've made and preventing the process from slipping back into old habits. Tools like control plans and standard operating procedures, SOPs, are essential for maintaining process stability.
Control plans are like a set of guardrails. Keeping the process on track, they outline all the control measures necessary to maintain the achieved improvements, including specific actions, responsibilities, and monitoring procedures.
And SOPs provide detailed step-by-step instructions for performing specific tasks, ensuring consistency and reducing the risk of errors. It's like having a detailed recipe to follow, so everyone gets the same results every time.
It's all about standardization and documentation, making sure everyone is on the same page. This has been an incredibly insightful journey through the world of Six Sigma.
I agree. And it's important to remember that these tools aren't just for certified Six Sigma professionals. Anyone looking to enhance their problem-solving skills, improve efficiency, or simply make better data-driven decisions can benefit from understanding and applying these tools.
That's not. Whether you're working on a complex engineering project or trying to streamline a process at home, these tools can empower you to achieve better results.
And before we move on to our final thoughts, I'd like to remind everyone that the full MESP program offers a deep dive into these tools and much more. You can apply at mechesolco.com/CPD if you're interested in learning more. As we wrap up our deep dive, let's consider how these tools can be applied in a practical sense. Think about a challenge you're currently facing. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's at home, maybe you're dealing with a recurring problem, or perhaps you're trying to improve a process. How could you apply one of these tools to gain a deeper understanding of the situation and find a solution?
That's a great question to ponder. It's all about taking these concepts from theory to practice. Even selecting the right tool can be a challenge. You might start with a simple tool like a check sheet to gather some initial data, then use a Pareto chart to prioritize areas for improvement. Or maybe you need to investigate the relationship between two variables, using a scatter diagram. The key is to choose the tool that best fits the problem you're trying to solve.
It's like having a toolbox filled with specialized instruments. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, right? The same principle applies to Six Sigma tools. We need to understand the strengths and limitations of each tool to use them effectively.
I find it helpful to view these tools as lenses through which we can examine a problem from different angles. Each tool provides a unique perspective, helping us uncover insights that might have otherwise remained hidden.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different tools, see what works best for you, and learn from your experiences. The more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become in applying these tools to real-world situations.
Remember, Six Sigma is not just about statistics and data analysis. It's about cultivating a mindset of continuous improvement, embracing collaboration, and always striving for excellence.
Exactly. And the best part is that these tools can be applied in any field, from engineering and manufacturing to healthcare, finance, and even our personal lives. The possibilities are endless.
So whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your Six Sigma journey, I encourage you to explore these tools and discover their transformative power.
And to help you get started, we're hosting a free webinar on implementing Six Sigma in your workplace. It's a fantastic opportunity to learn more about the practical application of these tools and ask any questions you might have.
You can register for the webinar at mechesolco.com/CPD. We hope to see you there.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Six Sigma tools. We hope you found this episode insightful and empowering. Remember, the journey of continuous improvement starts with a single step, and these tools can be your guide along the way.